appreciate you joining us. And we've got some hardcore burgundy and gold fans in here and supporters of mine, and I greatly appreciate it. Wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do this today because it was such a busy day out in Commanders Park, covering the team, training camp, a hot day out there. We'll talk about that here shortly. But I got to give kudos to you guys in there for holding it down, because when I came into the session, you guys were already in their rare form. Some of y'all suited up too, so I appreciate that. All right, let's get into it. One thing we're going to do today is a little different. You guys know I bring up a hypothetical, try to at least every week. Sometimes we don't get to it because we have so much juicy stuff we're talking about. But today, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to let my dude Brad in Detroit throw the question out today for you guys. And, we'll talk about the team. But Brad, if you're okay with that, go ahead and throw that question out there. And we'll get some answers on that in a little bit.
So, Lake, what up, fam? Actually, Lake, we discussed that question
Oh.
before you. Yeah, we discussed it. But what me and Lake had discussed, we was asking what are the benefits of Terry not being in training camp. That was one of the questions we had discussed.
Okay.
So I'll throw it through the group. Let everybody else have that.
All right.
You get to see some of the you get to see some of the younger guys. They get more reps. They get more time.
Yeah.
That's one of the benefits. You get a better decision on some of the younger guys.
Yeah. Co-sign Will. That's my answer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that. So it's funny. It's funny you have that question, because you'll see it later on in my stand-up that gets posted. I talked with KJ Osborne, and we talked about that. He said it's beneficial for everyone because everyone gets a chance to play different positions as far as the wide receiver room. You can do different things, and then Cliff talked about it today to us as well as far as facility, and that's one of the things that I wanted to talk about. Not to stir the pot or anything, but you could tell Cliff was not. You could tell that he didn't really want to keep talking about Terry today, and of course, some of the colleagues kept pressing it. And
your favorite one.
Yeah. Why are we still doing this? Like everyone knows the story, everyone knows what's going on,
right?
But there's literally 75, 80 other guys out there busting their tail, man.
That's where
talk about that for a change. So I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm if you ask me truthfully as your friend first, but then as a media person second, to give you my honest answer as far as Terry being here, I'm going to tell you it's 95% that he's going to sign. When I'd like to think it's going to happen before week 1. So we still got 3 weeks before week 1. So you're still going to hear about this for the next week or so, the next 2 weeks. I think it gets done within 2 weeks. I've been telling you guys all summer that he's going to sign. Naturally, my days are wrong. I think everyone's days are wrong. No one foresaw this dragging out the way this is. But knowing how they're doing business and knowing what Terry's asking for, it's going to drag out a little bit here. That's just the way it is. But I do think there's going to be some kind of impasse between both Adam Peters and Terry McLaurin, because you know what it's looking like right now? From afar, you guys probably see it, but I can tell you in-house, I see it. They realizing how much they need each other here. It's going to get done. It's absolutely going to get done. So anyway, we got that part out the way. So let's move on. Let's talk about the stuff that's actually going on. Did you guys see or listen to my question to Dan Quinn yesterday?
Yes.
All right. So did any of you think that was something that could get me in hot water or something like that?
No.
Okay, good.
May you repeat?
Repeat the question.
Remember.
Well, the question was, I asked him, I told him, as a defensive minded coach.
Oh, yes.
How did you feel about Wednesday? Because Jaden, the defense had their way with the offense on the inner scrimmage, and that was probably, for Jaden's standpoint, probably the most I've ever seen him under duress against the defense practice. And So some of my colleagues, ones that I'm cool with, that are family, said, oh, that was tough. It looked like, coach wasn't happy about that question. And I'm like, nah, I wasn't throwing Jaden under the bus. I was paying homage to the defense for once,
Correct.
because
Right.
they've been maligned so much. And I even prefaced in me talking with Dan, I did say to him, Jaden always has his way. He's always sharp. He's always looking great. How do you feel as a defensive minded coach to finally see the defense do what they did? Because you got to know, what is that going to do? It's going to make Jaden really upset that that happened, and he's going to be even better the next day. So what he did today? Outside of a couple drops, he would have been 11 for 11. He was 14 for 19 for the day, but he probably 4 or 5 drops. Take away those drops, he was perfect today.
Nice.
There we go. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I wanted to know what a fan thought about the question. I had a couple people tell me thought about the question,
but
that's what it's
We
supposed to be.
get to ask a question.
But
Okay.
isn't that what we want our defense to look good? Because we know what 5 is going to do. We know that. We don't know what our defense is going to do. So for our defense to look better, I think that was a legitimate question.
Absolutely.
And not only that, Lake, you have to look at it like this as well. We going up against the Giants the first week of the season. And so when you think about our defense, hey, their defense might be a lot more harder than us. So that the rest that he's under now, he's going to have to get adjusted to it real quick, man, because Denver's got a tough defense. The Eagles got a tough defense. Dallas defense is so. He's going to face that type of defense anyway. So at the end of the day, it's really preparing him for those type of defenses.
And
That's
we want our
what training
defense to be
camp is about.
good. Yeah, because Philadelphia didn't put up 55 on turnovers, and they scored them. We want our defense to stop that 55, right?
Exactly. So if you can stop 5 every now and then in practice, it's only going to get easier on Sunday. And so that's how I posed it. And as I always say, the longer the answer from the coaches, the more intrigued or the better they think the question is. And Dan answered my question for about over a minute. So
no, I listened to the press conference yesterday. I didn't see anything wrong with the question. I thought you was good.
Me neither. I thought it was a good question.
Good.
I thought it was an outstanding question. But it also shows too that if you look back and compare our defense from last year and compare it to this year's defense, the secondary is much better. The defensive line, as a collective, you don't have the names, but as a collective, you seem like you have about 4 or 5 dudes, maybe 6 to 7 guys that you can rotate through and give you a much better pass rush to marry up with the backside. And I believe today he talked about the top 5 corners. Oh, sorry, that was the defense coordinator that talked about the top 5 corners today, saying that they looked outstanding and that they've been doing a great job. They're going to have a challenge come Monday.
Coach Witt is a tough grade. He's tough as they come. And for him to say what he said to us today, as far as he said they've had great practices and see it coming together. And for him to say that is very encouraging. And I can tell you guys, the thing that I love about practices this year, the intensity. We said, last time I spoke to you guys was in New England last week, and none of us knew the debacle we were going to see, a couple minutes later, and it was, and after the game, I asked coach the same thing, like, you sat 30 guys, so in your mind, you could be saying, well, our main players didn't play. And I don't know if you heard that, but he said to me, that's not how we get down. That's not how we get down. He said, I don't care if you're a starter or you're a backup. You got to show up. And what do they do? They released Dom Hampton. So it was a message sent, and I knew these practices this week were going to be brutal. I knew it. Obviously, they had the inter-squad scrimmage where they could hit. There were things going on there. And then today's practice, man, was just amped up. Do you guys know how many scuffles and fights broke out today? Like, this team, against each other, they're so tight with each other. That brotherhood is. But they was banging out there today.
Really?
People were getting broken up and beat each other's faces.
I heard about that.
Okay, the memo was sent and it was received and got it. I talked to Josh Johnson after the game. He said the same. I mean, after today's practice, he said the same thing. Like it was definitely intentional as far as the way the practices were this week. So hopefully they it carries into Monday. But I'm pretty sure you're gonna see a different effort come Monday.
Hey, real quick, Lake. I know the starters didn't play last week, but we had the kickoff return and punt return. Those guys go play on kick and punt return. Any concern about the way they looked last week, this week?
No, because I mean, I understand Jeremy was out there, Nick Ballore. I mean, those are your teams guys, but Tyler Owens wasn't. And Tyler Owens is a big special teams guy.
Right.
Or several guys under 30 that did not suit that do play special teams. So yeah, it was alarming because it was the first play of the game. Definitely you don't want to see that in your preseason debut. But again, I can just tell you, being in the corridor after the game, seeing Marshawn come in, what's up to me? Bobby come in, what's up to me? And the list just kept going on and on. Laramie Tunsil, you just Jaden. I'm like, they'll be all right. Like seriously, don't let that fool you, because you got to be realistic. 20 of those guys that suited up last week out of a whole team, maybe 20 are on the roster, when this thing starts. So you got to put things in perspective. But did they play poorly? Sure they did. And those are backups that want to prove the NFL, and that could be a next man up if injury were to happen. So you hope they would get the memo. Well, the ones that didn't, I didn't see them perform a lot in practice this week, and one of them got released. So they better come out with their pants on right come Monday, because if not, you might hear some more names let go.
Right. And it's almost refreshing, because with the other regime, you didn't know whether they cared, or not, if we lost a game, or there was no energy from the coach as to what the
accountability.
But it was like before, any of the media was cut off, everybody was basically like, oh, DQ, not happy. And it's almost the happy life, happy wife thing. If the coach is having a bad day, guess what? Everybody else is having a bad day. And that's the way it's supposed to be.
That's what he said. He said to me after the game, literally, it chapped his ass. That's what
That's a representation. That's a representation of DQ. That's a representation of AT, right? That's a representation of the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coach, right?
Exactly.
And they went out there with no effort, no life. There was no juice on the field.
It was almost as if guys were comfortable with some of their performances in the joint practice. And it just didn't carry over.
Right.
And I said this to you guys, the defense in the joint practice didn't look particularly well either. So you have to look at individuals. Andre Jones played well in the joint practice, but then in the game, in the preseason game, not the same performance. So, and that wasn't just him, it was everyone. It just was a stinker of a performance. And that's what Coach Quinn said to me. He was just like, that's not our standard.
Right, exactly.
Not who we are. And, he said he can live with the results if the energy and effort's there.
Right.
But, and I think that's why maybe say like that NFC Championship game, it hurt to lose with the game away from the Super Bowl, but it didn't hurt with the sense that they were trying. They just got a much better team that day.
Yeah.
But what we saw in New England, that ain't no Super Bowl team, at least not right now. I'm talking about New England.
Correct.
Yeah.
They steamrolled to what came up in there in burgundy and gold. So that can't happen on Monday. And I don't think you're going to see that. I think you're going to see some real positive things come Monday. And I think Cincinnati's playing again. They got the memo from the years past, starting off slow. So I think I'll see Joe Burrow and company and Jamar Chase for a quarter.
Yep.
Like, shouldn't they expect that from everybody? They should expect everybody, because they were a game away from the Super Bowl. They should expect everybody's best shot because you're the measuring stick now. You're not the the hunter no more. You are the hunted.
Yeah.
Right. This is you put yourself in the categories with the Buffalo, the Baltimores, the Kansas Cities, the Philadelphia Eagles. Right. You put yourself in that category now. So you are the hunted. You put yourself up there with Minnesota, who everybody expects to be great. You tried to supplant San Fran from being that Super Bowl team that we're gonna put in here. Detroit. So you beat Detroit, the team that had the best record in the NFC. So you can't just roll out a helmet. You can't just throw your jersey out on the field. You're going to get everybody's best
And
every time you suit up.
And you know that they were the last team to beat the Eagles too. So, it's they're not going to sneak up on anyone.
No.
Primetime games and the game over in Spain, which by the way, booked my hotel. The NFL media said I'm good. You so happy about that. But yeah, you know, it's definitely different. Like there's stars showing up to practice now. And I mean that legitimately.
I know that too.
Yeah, actors.
The Punisher was there.
The Punisher was there the other day. Lamar Roach was there before that. I mean, you know, if you're a boxing fan, you know Lamar Roach is. He actually beat.
Yes.
They didn't give it to him. But anyway, they have a rematch coming up. So, you know, you see that there. This DJ was there the other day. I didn't know who he was, but I Googled who it was because I was like, where's this entourage? And you know, blonde dude with tats all over. And I'm like, who is this? Looked him up. He's you know, a world-renowned DJ worth $50 million. So I'm just like, all these jokers are here. And you know what? When they talk to Jaden or they're near Jaden, it's like looking at kids, looking up at their parents. You know, they're in awe. I'm like, we haven't had anything like that around here as long as I've been. We've had some star players, but not superstars. How about that? And they got.
I just hope we don't start smelling ourselves and think that's what I don't want us to do. I still want us to be like, I don't, and it can happen, you know, not even paying attention to it. You're getting all this attention and things like that. And I think DQ will help us stay hungry. And we got enough vets in the locker room to do that. I just don't want us to feel like, you know, coming out, we're going to the Super Bowl. I want us to feel like come out like we're still the 4-12 team from the year before.
Right.
And just be that hungry.
Well, you know, I think, Brad, that's what that does when you get your rear end handed. You know, like I said, wasn't nobody expecting New England to do what they did, and it's, you know, you were saying, well, teams are gonna play you like that, so you can come out there thinking that you that guy. I'm gonna show you. You know what? To the challenger goes the ring.
Yeah, you know, I think honestly, I think the best thing that could have happened to them was New England, and it happened early and during practice, because it definitely got people's attention. This week of practice was the most intense I've seen it. Period. And the energy, even the energy in their warm-ups was just totally different. So really, what I call it, you know, if you know me, you've probably heard me say it over the years, but what happened on Friday last week was a back alley slapping. That's what.
So, Lake, tell me this.
Yeah. And
oh, sorry about that. We spent a lot of money on that kicker. How's he looking in practice?
Oh God, dog! I told you last week, dog. I told you last week, dog.
You did.
Oh, I can't. Like, look, I'm in the hotel right now.
You say
Recording.
I had to sign off, man.
He's got a big leg. He was knocking them through yesterday when we were practicing the bubble. But I'm concerned. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, he's a dome kicker, but he played in Utah in college, so I hope he can revert back to those skills.
Very concerned. And I tweeted out in the game.
Maybe he needs scratch his head about 15 times, like the other guy.
Miss Sheila.
That dude was
as soon as I sent it out, I did one of these numbers because PR and everyone sitting right to the right. I did it, and then I was like, just to make sure, because I said they're gonna have to consider bringing in a new kicker, another kicker to challenge him. And I'm actually surprised that they didn't do that.
Yeah.
They do so many things correct here. And everything's about competition, right?
correct.
I always felt like if there was one position that I'm definitely going to have a bunch of people trying out and practicing, it's that kicker, because that can make or break you. And right now,
But wouldn't some of the best kickers absolutely right now still be in other camps? Because anybody you bring in right now, Baltimore always has two kickers. In New England, well, that was with Bill Belichick. They would have two kickers to keep the competition going. So do you have to wait until cuts to get another kicker?
You know what it is, Will? One thing I've learned about kickers over the years is that
confidence.
They may not, it is absolutely, Ellison. Right. It may not be working for them where they are, but they could go somewhere and have a Hall of Fame career.
David Akers.
Yeah, being at the right place at the right time. But you got to show something for people to want you to be at the right.
So, do you think, to Ellison's point, the confidence, do you think if he brought in if we brought in another kicker, how it would kill the confidence of him already? So do you think by saying we're not bringing nobody else in, try to build his confidence up, Sean?
But he's missing kicks now, so what more do you need?
Yeah. But if he start missing them the next game and stuff like that, then you bring somebody else.
You bring somebody else in, you might as well get rid of them then.
Let me ask you this. For gentlemen in there who married, if somebody not getting it done, you're gonna try to keep working with them to make sure you can get it done, right?
Sure. Yep.
But continues to not get done.
Well,
hard to look at your options.
Let me turn my volume down for that. I can't listen to Lake Show no more, man. I'm doing Lake.
My video.
Hey, Mike, man, I need your services.
Oh, dog. I'm busy, bro.
Look at this. Is she
busy.
What are you talking about? Seriously, though, if he's missing kicks, consistently missing kicks, repeatedly missing kicks, how can you justify not bringing someone in here to challenge against him? If he goes out and stinks it up Monday, not only will I assure you there's going to be a new kicker in town to challenge him,
they had to go back and get what's the name.
It will happen immediately because the difference is you miss kicks in New England. Yeah, you still away from home. But if you missing kicks in Northwest Stadium, you're gonna be booed bad.
Yeah,
and that's the trajectory going unless he makes.
I got a question. What's the thing about B-Rob might be getting cut? Just asking.
Clickbait is clickbait.
That's not real. It was a hypothetical question.
So you guys know me. You know my style.
I felt bad about that because if he reads it, I'm just like, how does he feel about that?
I want him to read it.
Got to show up.
I want him to read it. And you know why I want him to read it? Because, I could tell y'all some stuff that, oh my goodness gracious.
Tell us.
Don't do it, Lake.
Don't tell us.
Don't do it.
I don't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I couldn't believe it when I read it. Y'all already know. Some of y'all already know. I don't get down to certain things,
I can say this real quick. I'll say something that Lake probably can't say. That article and that person that wrote that article just got released or that same publication was in. He's doing his own thing and he's trying to get clickbait likes and followers and stuff like that. So
good point.
He can't say that, but I can.
Exactly.
Let me say this though.
And
can I say this? Can I say this?
We keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real. Yes, B-Rob got shot. He missed his first couple of games as a rookie, but he didn't finish that year. The second year that we had B-Rob, he didn't finish that year.
Whoa, wait.
Last year.
Let him finish.
Last year, B-Rob missed games, and I understand that the offensive line has been
Mhm.
it was terrible at best, right? Terrible at best, getting better. And when you have an offensive line that's beat up the way that they were, the running game does suffer. And we have neglected our running game. But the one thing that we do know that B-Rob is not, that is explosive. And we can't say that he's durable because he misses games every year. He has not had a complete season his whole career.
I'm with
And
Will on this
for
one.
us to go where we want to go, we have to have durable backs. And yes, they get beat up. And I played running back and safety, but the best availability is always being available. That's the best ability, right? Is availability.
They've addressed it in the form of Bill Merritt,
Right.
There you go.
and they've also addressed it in Demetric Felton, who I like quite a bit,
I like Felton.
You still
like Felton.
still have Chris Rodriguez too. So what I'm saying is, and Jeremy McNichol has not bad at all. So what I'm saying is, I agree with you as far as Brian's assessment. He's never been consistently available. Period.
Mm.
That's not. But to say that he's going to get cut, to say that he's not going to be on the roster come week 1,
yeah, you heard that too. Yeah.
I don't see how that can be possible. I just don't.
Do you think I think B-Rob will be better if he had a better mate, right? If he had somebody he can share those carries with, I think he can be. I'm not saying he will be what David Montgomery is. Yeah, I think if we just give him somebody to come give us that punch, I think he'll be good with that.
But he has that. He has that. It's been there. If you look at Chris Rodriguez and B-Rob, and trust me, you ain't trying to see neither one of them. The fourth quarter, you're not trying to see them coming down the pipe at you with a full steam ahead. Your little sister, last night, I believe it was, like, she was on Louis T's, and Candy said it best. Yeah. It's like we got multiple different flavors, and I'm paraphrasing, of guys. It's not about letting go of any one of them. It's letting them do what they do when they do it. You let B-Rob come down, beat up on them, and then that jump cut from Bill come in. Trust me, it's 6 all day.
Let me pose this to, because I've been critical of Brian at times, as far as dancing at the line of scrimmage and not just attacking the gaps. I've said that, but I've also said he's coming from Alabama, where he always had a gap to run into. So got to train your mind a little differently if it's not there. So this is the other thing. When has he or any back on this team in recent memory been able to run to the edges because they got dogs at tackles? So you got
Clinton Portis is the last time that happened.
Yeah, you got one now over on the other side, and Josh, who, by the way, y'all heard me tell y'all he's not struggling, and now here's how good he looks, right? I talked to him not yesterday, it was the last practice before that, and just off to the side by ourselves, and I was like, don't believe this nonsense you be hearing, man. Like, and he's like, no, I know who's real, and I'm like, good, and I'm like, but look, understand, the coach said that you're playing well. And he kept his head down. He was like, I know I got to get a lot better, and there's things that I can do. He said, but I'm feeling comfortable. Things are slowing down. Let me tell y'all, this guy's putting his hands on people now, and they're not moving. And when you hear Javon Kinlaw, like I'm trying to tell people, largest human ever, when you hear them saying this, bro, how can you not get better? You're going up against Von Miller and Javon Kinlaw every day.
Right.
Sunday is going to be easy for him. It's the same thing we keep saying now with this defense. You're going against number 5 every day. I don't care if Terry's there or not. Number 5 makes it all go. And if you can start to pose resistance to him, it's going to make him better on Sunday, and it's going to make the Sunday. So that's why I'm encouraged, and I don't want people to get, all I heard was how horrible that they looked. And people were like, I know you were mad in New England having to go up there for that. And I'm like, that's my job. I'm going regardless.
That was preseason.
Man, if this was, you guys remember the last regular season game up there, what happened? Y'all remember that, right?
It was a dismantling.
It was. My baby called me. Sorry about that. Y'all gonna get me in trouble because
you doing that to yourself, bro. You about to get me in trouble.
Real quick. Going back to B-Rob.
We slid back. We see how fast we slid back. Like, nope.
Yeah, she's
real quick, going back to B-Rob, we're gonna see the best B-Rob this year because it's a contract year.
So y'all remember that last New England game? It was a full throttling that went on up there, and those are the ones you get mad at when you travel to, and you're like, oh my God, like what? It's gonna be a long day. So look, let's do this. Let's go around the horn here real quick. I want to get your take on what you want to see come Monday. Like just a verb, something. What is it that you want to see from this team come Monday? Let's start with Abdul in there, because I know you want to talk about Terry, but we're not getting.
Okay. So what I want to see is the secondary. I want to see how they compete against T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, because I mean that's a true test right there. So that's what I want to see. Secondary.
Man, you hit that on the head, man. I think there ever was an intriguing matchup. It for me, it might be Trey on Jamar, just to see. Indoctrination, you do know that. But it could be something where he shows too, because if you ask me who's having the best camp as far as any corner, man, it would be hard for me to, like, Mikey's having a crazy camp. Marshawn looks good. But there's something about Trey, man, that he got a little juice to him, man.
I heard he ain't scared. I heard that he ain't scared.
He ain't scared.
I heard that he ain't scared. That's the way.
This joker.
That's the way it was put to me.
Got the gear. It's like, when you see a corner. When you see a lockdown corner. He reminds me so much. And I know I'm getting ahead of myself. At first, I was like, does he remind me of Stingley? Or does he remind me of my dude in Denver? And
Surtain?
Listen. I'm trying to tell you, this guy has ball skills. Stays like. There's corners, like, and no offense, I hate to do this because I'm not trying to disrespect players, but you see like Benji. Benji looked the part as a corner, was not a corner.
Was not.
But he had like one interception in 5 years or something like that.
He could. Not only does Trey stay sticky on you like glue, he will knock the ball out of your hands not seeing the ball. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's just he just has a natural ability to dislodge passes, to intercept the ball. I've been so impressed with him. They know they got something special there, and him and Mikey are going to be their corner room for a long time.
Man, what a difference a year make. This time last year, we were scratching our heads with our secondary was going.
It was trash.
It was trash.
It was trash. It was.
That's what I'm saying.
And then Mikey came in and made you see how bad they were. The guys that were here before him. So anyway, let's speaking of Mikey in Michigan, let's go with Brad. What you want to see?
I'm echoing Abdul. This will be our corners get their first taste of some true dogs on the other side. And since he's gonna play those starters, so let's see what you got. Let's bring it. I'm with that.
Ellison.
Effort. That's it. I want to see some effort. I didn't like what I saw last week. I coached basketball for some years down here, and if you don't give me effort, you can sit down with me.
You can dust my seat off. Exactly. I feel you on that. All right, Kevin, what's going on, Kevin?
How's it going, Lake?
I'm good.
I want to see our front. I want to see if our front can get to Joe Burrow right from the jump. And the only reason why I say that is because their offensive line isn't that great. I want to see how much pressure we can put. I already know from the conversation for everybody else, our secondary. I want to see if the front can get to Joe Burrow before he's able to get the ball out of his hands. So I want to see our front pressure.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Quick.
Who?
Mike, it's you.
Oh, I didn't.
Yes.
I'll copy Abdul. That's the juiciest part is because we've heard that their wide receivers are going to play, but second to that, back to the running game. I want to see if them big dogs going to open up Timmy Smith holes, man. I want to see some Timmy Smith holes, man.
Listen, y'all know I'm not. We all family here, so you do know I write some things down. I like that.
Mike with the throwback.
Every one of us could have ran through those holes that Timmy Smith was seeing, man.
Ain't playing.
You could drive a car through that.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Oscar, what's going on, man? Over in what's up?
Yeah, it's getting late here, but great to be on the show with the family. Great to see you, like. You know, if T. Higgins and Jamar Chase are getting some kind of play time, I would like to see the secondary as well. But also some kind of spark that would make the Bengals remember what happened last year as well. I don't care how photogenic Sam Hartman is. It's really boring to watch him. I'm sorry. not to be disrespectful, but some kind of offensive spark as well.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Something sustainable. I totally agree with you on that. They need that. Rev, what's up?
Hey, good afternoon.
Looking sharp, by the way.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Clean.
I was rushing in. I was actually rushing back in from a call and just booted up just for the fearless leader to take his time, to come to work. So I guess I'm never as long as I beat the boss, I'm never late, right?
Lake got to buy popsicles for the next one. Lake got to buy popsicles.
I've been hearing, and I heard as recent today, and I believe that our all-pro Jay Reeves and everything is playing at this level like he's knocking everybody out in the vicinity of the ball. It's like
literally
if you are his own player, and I don't mean for any of us to get hurt, but his intent, that physical premise that DQ and Witt said that they want, he's playing with that. He's knocking everything out. And that's what I want to see. From our defense, let's start now imposing our will. So it's like, if you're around the football, you getting hit. That's what I want to see.
Listen, Jeremy's had an incredible camp. Like, he looked like, I'll say a different player because it's disrespectful to him, because we all know, I said this many times, I thought Ron dropped the ball big time when he had started Jeremy and Cam Curl. They went on a nice little run that first year, remember? They got to the playoff. They were 7-9, but still, it looked like a nice little tandem in the making there. And then they went out the following year, brought in someone from New England and just disrupted everything. And Jeremy's been relegated to being a special teams demon, but he's out there making plays, and they're trying to find ways to get him on the field this year. So listen, I mean, Tyler Owens, you better get on the field, man, because the old guy, I call him the old man, Jeremy, he's out there doing it. So that's good stuff, Rev. Good stuff.
Amen.
Shawno. And this might be calling me again. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, oh boy. Okay, yeah. So Shawno, you're up.
Yes. So basically what I would like to see is the starters play at least a couple series, all of the starters. And I like to, of course, not have any injuries, but I like the way Newton is looking on the defensive line. I like, hopefully the rest of the defensive line can step up like he's playing hard.
Okay. Okay. Jerzon looks good, man. And he's just, he was telling Auntie and me, Don Hopkins, how he went back to his high school and just to kind of rejuvenate himself, just to get back to where he trained when he first, knew he was special, and he's cut his hair, he doesn't have the locks anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
articulate. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah.
And I think he's getting ready to have a monster year. I truly believe that. I think he's getting ready to make his name known around the league as one of the better defensive tackles. His footwork is just so amazing. Like, you would think he played soccer at one point. You know what? Let me write that down. So I'm gonna ask him that tomorrow because I know he hooped. I mean, you already can see that. But I'm gonna ask him if he ever played soccer because he's got. You guys gonna think I'm crazy. He's got Trent Williams footwork. Literally.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, he's got Trent Williams type of footwork. His burst and everything. His balance. It's just all there. So yeah, I'm gonna ask Johnny if he plays soccer tomorrow. That'll be a good one. All right, so let's go on. Sheila, what you got, Miss Sheila?
I just want to see Jaden, let them know there's no slump here.
Yeah.
I just want him to do what he got to do, get off the field.
Yeah, in one piece.
That's what I want. There's no slump, so y'all go ahead. Think what you want.
That's good. I think people are gonna see that. That Joker looks incredible, man, and he's gotten bigger. You clearly can see that.
You can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just, last year I knew he was good. I was telling you guys, I could see something special, like he was different.
Yeah, you broke it to me.
But I'm just telling you, man, this year, he makes last year's version of Jaden look terrible. Let me just say.
That's what I'm talking about.
Did y'all happen to see New England? There was a podcast. I guess it's like some New England sport writers, and they were talking about it, and they was like, clearly he was the better quarterback between him and Drake May, and they were like, Washington got something special. And that was coming from an opposing team that said that.
Good play.
The ball doesn't hit the ground with him. It just does. It's a pass that no one's getting. I mean, it might be, he tried to put it somewhere where the receiver couldn't make a play, but it's definitely not getting picked off. You just don't see him turn the ball over. I think I can safely say this, guys. In 2 years, going to last year's rookie mini camp to mini camp to training camp through the season to now, mini camp through training camp, I don't know if I've seen Jaden throw more than 5 interceptions.
Hey, Lake, I got to sign off, man. I good to see y'all, all right?
Hey,
See y'all next week, man. Lake, you didn't got me in trouble, bro. You didn't got me in trouble, man.
Have a good weekend.
I see y'all, man.
All right.
Cool. All right, so we got Will. Will, what you want to see?
I want to see some wide receivers step up. I want to see some wide receivers catch those passes that Jaden is throwing. And one in particular, I would like to see a second-year wide receiver, I'm not going to say his name, take a major step up because we all have been waiting and anticipating big things from them.
Yeah.
We know who that is.
Rhymes with Juke.
We know who that is. You ain't got to say his name. They be yelling his name in the stadium.
Yeah, I think we all want to see that. Every now and then you see a flash. You do. You see flashes in practice every now and then.
I think he wants to too.
Not consistent. And the thing is, and I'll say this, he's one of the most likable people you'll ever meet. Like, he really is a good kid. And you want him to do well. But I think all of us would tell you we just haven't seen enough. We haven't. And he's going to have to show it. He's going to have to.
There's no better time for him to show out than Monday night when everybody's watching.
And the thing is that some of the veterans that they have are starting to come around. Like, KJ's really been playing well. And he played well in New England, ironically. Should have caught the one in the end zone. I'll say he has to catch that.
Yeah.
You know who else is starting to come around and doing some things is Michael Gallup.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he's starting to turn it up a little bit, and so he's showing veteran consistency. That's all. We're not saying this guy's going to go out and get 50 catches. They don't need him to do that. But as a veteran, you need to be in your spot when your number's called.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. Luke, on the other hand, you know, just not enough. You might see a play every 2-3 practices, but just not consistent. So, you know,
good on special teams.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. Because I know
see practice squad in his future.
Say that again.
I can see practice squad in his future.
Yeah, it could be. You know, I think right now, if you ask me, does he make the roster, I would tell you, yes, he does.
Really?
And I know you're going to say based on what, and it's potential. It's still, you know, it's
passes last year.
Nepo, baby.
You're really playing wide receiver, you know,
but
especially at the pro level. So he's got potential. But when I look at him, I'm like, is he ever going to really be a difference maker? You know, and I don't know. So we have to see. But you're right. If there ever was a time to do something, it's going to be Monday night at home under the lights. So look, my friends, you know, I came in super late. You know, my apologies, but I did.
No
you
worries.
know,
come here, Keyshawn.
I did do a long day. Hopefully, I think you guys are going to enjoy my 20-minute recap of practice today. Had Josh Johnson on with me, had KJ on with me, had my good friend Natalie.
You come back late too.
ABC. I got, you know, sound from Cliff, from Coach.
Right.
It's a long one, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. But yeah, we'll do this. You know, I'm committed to doing it. I just
You understand? Well, you understand.
Yes.
Like I said, between you got Will, Abdul, and
Ellis was killing it.
and Mike B right there that'll hold you down. You got backup. That's for sure.
I think next week Abdul not gonna be so quiet because we're probably gonna be talking about Terry. And hopefully we can,
you know what?
Because I was just telling somebody in PR today, think of how great life would be if we didn't have to even talk about that. There would be no sign. There would be nothing.
There would be absolutely nothing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when these kind of things come up, it gives rogue media a chance to like run and just cause nonsense.
They loving it.
Man, I'm so tired of it. I really am. So that's why I love doing this with you guys, because we can talk real X's and O's. What do they call it? X's and O's and something and Joe's.
Tommy's and Joe's.
Jimmy's and Joe's.
Me and Joe.
Jimmy's and Joe's.
Oh, yeah. Jimmy's and Joe's.
That's what we do on the show. And I got to tell you guys, I have a lot of fans that tell me, I don't want to say some fans are intimidated to come on, but some of them like, man, I really want to come on your show. I'm like, I've sent you the link a long time ago.
Right.
Welcome. But I think they're starting to look at you guys like you guys are the fabric of the show. So what I'm happy about with this is that if there ever is a time I couldn't do the show, you guys can still do the show. You know,
we almost did.
We did.
Still do this. So, but I'm going to do it, you know, unless I'm playing, I'm going to be able to do it. So I do appreciate you guys, you know, hanging in there. Came on. I was like 35 minutes late, but we got it in. That's all that matters.
You got to get to go return those calls.
Yeah, go get that